Chair and committee, thank you so much for allowing me to sit with this distinguished panel to discuss this most profound of subjects. Certainly, I know for everyone in the room, but certainly for me. I'd like to start actually by asking you a question. How many of you go to Netflix, YouTube, or some other bastion of the media maybe more than once a week? If you could just quickly raise your hand. Great. How many of you go more than twice a week? Okay. How many of you go more than 5 times a week? Great. How many people go maybe more than 100 times a week? Come on, more people put up your hands. You're lying. I know I saw you on that YouTube as you went down that rabbit hole. Thank you for that. And the reason, and Chair, I will yield some of my time back because I know that lunchtime is calling. We all have that extra hour and the belly's rumbling on the old time zone, not the present. But I would say I'm really pleased to be able to speak for a few moments about acknowledgement to action. And what that means to me is that we have negotiated our way to this current place that we find ourselves now, and the finish line is really not that far away. The finish line, of course, means that we just start again at a slightly more equitable, or our children start again at a slightly more equitable position. But part of the reason why I asked the question that I asked is because where I sit in the world of the arts and entertainment, the battle for us sits with what you watch, sits with what you listen to, it sits with what you read, and it sits with the algorithm taking that and then saying there is demand. So if you don't demand it, we won't make it. Ultimately, it means that the part of the battle, part of the victory lies with us. We get the outcomes, I profoundly believe. We are the masters and mistresses of our destinies in some regard. What we ask for, we get the governments, we get the leaders that we deserve. But most importantly, we get the media that we deserve. Because if we don't ask for it to be differently, it will continue to do the thing that it does. And you will sit on YouTube going down the rabbit hole trying to find something that feels truthful, as the chair said. So part of our challenge, my challenge, is to speak to the artistic community. It is all about narrative and it is all about audience. My audience is to say to the artistic community, what part can we play in making sure we are articulating this struggle, this battle, this absolutely essential battle that we must win? How do we lead, or not even lead actually, how do we partake? Now, in truth, if you want to get a point across, you give it to either a musician or a comedian. A comedian makes you laugh, it bypasses the frontal cortex and it just goes in. And it becomes an emotion. Many films that you have seen, many plays, many books that you have read, you can't really remember the storyline, but you remember the feeling. So we are the arbiters, the articulators of feeling. And this at the moment, reparation is an intellectual debate for many, and for most we have to make it a feel. We have to make it sit somewhere here so that when it goes there, there is a checkpoint. So here's what we got at the moment. We have, I think as Diane said, and as other speakers have said, we have justice on our side. It is no longer radical to speak about this. It is now just a fact. We have stars, not enough, but we have stars, global stars, that are born in this land. We have producers and creators, not enough, but enough to be able to amplify a message. And here's what we really have. Amongst the artistic community, we have fatigue. We have enslavement fatigue. We have colonialism fatigue. We are tired. We are tired of only being portrayed through the lens of someone who needs something. I think one of the brilliant rappers once said, they have made us hate ourselves, but love their wealth. Yes. It's a big word, that, you know. Now, so for me, I personally am, as someone who has descended, like many in this room, from those who were enslaved, from those who have gone through the system that took away everything that was mine culturally and superimposed something on top. That moment when you landed from the motherland and you went to that plantation, and that plantation then seasoned you to move from a free, sentient being into a being that would be subservient and wish their own slavery on themselves. That process, for me, can't be captured in one or two narratives. On my way here, I checked, and I think as Diane was talking about history and our country, we stand on history. You can't hold it in one hand and then dismiss it in another hand. I checked how many narratives have been made about Winston Churchill. And just films and just narratives, and the list just wouldn't stop. And I went, how many have been made about Queen Victoria, and 25 in the last 30 years? Don't stop that, don't even go there. And then I think about how many have been made about our Holocaust, about those, the 400 years. And because we've had 5 or 6, we are fatigued. All of a sudden that becomes something that we don't want to put our art into.
Absolutely.
It becomes, my friends, that is a Jedi mind trick.
Ridiculous, that's right.
All of a sudden I stop telling my narratives.
That's right.
Because you have suppressed me and only put me in a bucket. Well, turn the bucket on its head, reshape the narrative. Because that is what we do as artists. And so I say to you, and I yield floor, Chair, I yield floor, that I say this begins with us on the inside saying, don't allow yourself to be tricked. There are thousands of stories that our ancestors have been through that are as entertaining as Star Wars, that are as moving as, or as constructive or deconstructive as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. In every genre, we have stories that our ancestors have lived through and survived and have passed down to us in the way we move, in the way we shout, in the way we passionately discuss politics with each other. These are inheritances that we give away if we submit to being fatigued by the stories of our ancestors and our right and our duty to claim reparation on their behalf and on behalf of our children and children to come. So I say, and I put it to you, when you try and control your algorithm, watch the programs that speak to your story. Read the novels that speak to your story. Read the articles that speak to your story. And the algorithm will do the rest.
Kush Communiversity is brought to you by our amazing sponsor, The Black Secret. Are you ready to dive deep into Black history, economics, wealth building, and self-empowerment? The Black Secret is offering exclusive courses by none other than the Black history man himself, Robin Walker. This is the most powerful Black studies course on offer for the entire Black world. And guess what? You can get started today by simply using our special link, which you can find in the video description. Be sure to apply our coupon code KIMBUNGA to get another 20% off your membership. And there's more! Want to get a taste of what the Black Secret has to offer? You can also claim the book 100 Black History Facts absolutely free. Link in the description. So what are you waiting for? Expand your mind, unlock a world of knowledge, claim your free book, and let the Black Secret guide you on a journey of discovery and empowerment.
Click on the link below or subscribe to get more information. Class is in session.